unbelievable. It still is unbelievable that October 7th happened.
My daughter knows 5 people from the party who were killed. It's been constantly heartbreaking.
I woke up to this terrible news that some of our people are missing. A very terrifying experience.
To just watch this horror unfold, it was difficult and sad and frightening.
As a second generation Holocaust survivor, to look for Jewish kids that were hidden in cupboards, in drawers, in washing machines in Israel, it was horrifying.
Horrifying, devastating, and deeply re-traumatizing.
Shoshan is our president. She was kidnapped with almost all her family. We had colleagues all over the world trying to help. Days were endless. It was almost to the point where we collapsed.
We know many people who were killed and hostages, and 2 of them are still in Gaza, and we are praying that they are alive. This is heartbreaking.
So on October 7th, I was in Lilongwe in Malawi. We were witnessing something emotionally challenging, feels isolating. I think I cried at work for the first time in my career.
A real trauma, seeing the same actions that are committed by Hamas's militant, recurring back to my memories, remembering what we as Darfuris went through. Indiscriminate killing, burning down houses, raping is just Darfur brought into Israel.
My son and 2 sons-in-law were called in to the army and rushed to the border of Gaza. Another daughter left Ashkelon, and she passed by terrorists. She actually saw a terrorist on the road.
We lost 16 people in the war, and at least my unit. Following our entrance to Gaza, going into shooting battle, I suffered from an injury in my spine. I am in a consistent rehabilitation, and based on what the doctor say it would be for life.
We planted a new project in Rwanda a couple of weeks before the war started. And we had to keep it going, even though we had to spend most of our waking hours trying to find ways to bring Shoshan back. If she hears that we stopped the activities because of her, there will be hell to pay.
Hayes used to support non-Israeli citizens, refugees in Israel, but after October 7th, it was clear that we have to be engaged in providing support for Israeli citizens, Jewish and non-Jewish, those who have been impacted directly by the attack.
We saw a reduction of about 50% of our usual donations from Jewish and Israeli sources. And the fact that we had to reduce the activities and the overall impact that we can do, it's devastating.
My farmers in East Africa will not survive if we will not find the funding. You want to give to Israel, that's okay. But don't forget the Africans.
We work directly with the Turkish government, Ministry of Health, and this operation actually stopped, and we shifted, increasing our work with the Muslim organizations on the ground. Obviously, they didn't say it's because of October 7th, but they stopped answering our emails and our phone calls. On the other hand, we continue our work in Morocco the same way. We work in South Africa.
Since the first week after October 7th, the 70 staff that we have in India came together and decided that their Friday staff meeting, where they all get onto Zoom together, they would spend the first minute in silence for the hostages.
It's very jarring when you are in a community of people who you think we are all on the same page on a lot of these values, but we are so far off on these other ones, negating or minimizing what happened on October 7th, questioning the accounts of survivors of October 7th. People who work for women-focused organizations, you haven't said anything about all of the sexual violence on October 7th. How can we continue to have a conversation about this if you're silent on it?
It raised really serious questions around the humanitarian sector. You didn't send any condolences to me. You didn't show any compassion to me.
Being Israeli in Africa used to be an advantage. Ethiopia, Tanzania, Rwanda, everybody loves Israel. Now it's more difficult.
Some of the way conversations and issues are framed has made me consider in the future transitioning into more Jewish advocacy focused work.
I'm going to see some shift in my focus. Before the 7th of October, I was working globally, but also in Israel. And following the 7th of October, my personal work is going to focus in Israel. There's a major need to work in Israel.
Before and after October 7th, we are a humanitarian organization. This is the main goal of what we do. We want to help the most vulnerable, and we take pride that it also strengthens Jewish communities, and the Jewish community takes a lot of pride in what we do, and we continue doing it on their behalf as well.
The support of vulnerable communities is one of the highest levels of work that we can do as a nation of Israel. I don't see anything higher than that.
I love the work that I do. I find meaning in the work I do, and I think it's impactful. Am I hopeful? I don't think I have a choice but to be hopeful. I think it's a mitzvah to be hopeful, so I choose to be.
If you're in international aid, you have to be optimistic. This is where we draw our strength from the knowledge that we are doing the right thing. We are doing something that if we are not going to do it, probably no one else will do it.
We will continue to do good things around the world, not to prove ourselves, but because this is the right thing to do.